Hello everyone, my name is Tyler Krompiatek from Coley at Canisius College. This is the first of a two-part video series. This video will be on Sway basics, and the second video will be on using some of the more advanced features of Sway. MS Sway is a Microsoft 365 program that allows you to make functional, web-based, and self-paced presentation. These presentations could be a step-by-step tutorial on how to do something, or maybe information on a topic. You can think of it as a PowerPoint slideshow in a linear, web-based format, or a simplified website. Let's get started. In your Microsoft Sway, on the left sidebar, click on the green symbol with an S that's below the purple Teams icon. If you hover over these icons, you can also see the name of the application. So this is the Teams icon, and if I go down one more, this is the Sway icon. This will take you to the Sway landing page. I have one that I created called Photoshop Basics, and one that was shared with me called Bombing Germany. I can see the stats for the Sway I created, including views, time spent, completion, and so on. I'll click on the Sway that I created to give you a preview of what you can do with Sway. I created this Sway from a PowerPoint presentation, and after a bit of work and editing, it looks okay. I've got some special effects and animations, lots of images, and so on. So let's make a brand new one. I'll just exit out of this tab, and because Microsoft Sway opened up my Sway in a new tab, I'm back at the landing page. At the top, I can choose a new blank Sway, start from a document, and a number of templates. If I want to see some other templates, I can click on More Templates right here below where it says Newsletter. For now, I'll click on New Blank Sway so that I have more control over what the Sway looks like. The first thing I see is what Sway calls a content card. A content card is, just as it sounds, a container on the Sway that includes some sort of content, written or otherwise. I can see that I can type in some text and have a few tools to edit that text. However, I can also click on Details in the upper left here. When I do that, I can see that this content card is actually what Sway calls a heading card, and includes a text card right here. And if I click on Background or Add Logo, it can also include a couple of image cards. I should also note two things. The first is that it seems that the previous editing tools have disappeared. And the second is that, unlike in the initial view, which I'll go back to now, and then click on Details again, I have the option to add a logo. We'll get into the logo a bit later, so for now, let's add a title. When I click on the text card, I can see that some of the tools specific to text have reappeared. If I click on Emphasize, this will make the text bold. If I click on Accent, that will italicize the text. And if I click on Link, I can link the title text here to another web page. When I click on Background, you can see that it automatically brings up some of my previous Sways in the right-hand side here. I can search these various sources if I want to, but for now, I'll click on Suggested in the upper left, and I can see a list of various sources. For now, I'll choose Bing Images, and in the search bar, I'll type in Canisius College Golden Dome, and see what that brings up. This looks iconic, so I'll click on that. And I can actually bring in the picture in one of two ways. I can actually click and drag it to where it says Drop Image Here, or I can click on it and click on Add in the upper right. When I'm done, I can click on the little X icon right here in the upper right underneath where it says Insert to close out that menu. Again, I have some basic text editing tools. I also have focus points. We'll get into that in just a moment. I also have Details again. I'll click on Details to see what an image card actually is. And I can see that it includes an image and a couple of different text cards, one for captions and one for alternative text. I'll click on the image and I can see that focus points reappears in the upper right, so I'll click on that. And just as it says here, I can tap on what's important so that Sway can position my image. I can tap it again to remove it. So I'll click on that. I can also make it so that Sway knows that the entire image is important, or if I added too many points, I can click on Reset. This is also really useful for the animations that Sway can do. I'll just click on the caption right here, and what I will do is add a quick caption, and as I can see here, I have some alternative text. This card is useful for making the image more accessible to people who have difficulty seeing or are using a reader. You can see that based on the picture, it already has some descriptive starter text here, but I can click on it and change it. Even if you do not add a caption, it's always a good idea to add alternative text. Next, I will click on Add a Logo. This is not really a necessary step, but it might be useful to you later on. When I click on it, this will automatically open up my File Explorer on my computer. I will quickly find a logo. When I add a logo, I can see that I don't have much in the condensed view, except that I can delete it by clicking on the trash can icon on the right. By clicking on Details, I can see that I get a text card that I can edit. When I'm done, I'll scroll all the way back to the top and click on Heading again so that this heading card returns to its condensed view. Let's add a few more content cards. I can do this two ways. The first way is to click on the image icon in the upper right. It says Insert right here, and it's also to the right of the Undo and Redo buttons and the search bar, which I can use to search through my Sway if I need to. Note that clicking on the Insert button here only allows me to quickly add images, and that's really about it. It doesn't allow me to add any other form of content card to my Sway. The second way is to simply click on the green circle with the white plus sign below the content card here. When I click on it, I can see that it has suggested a few for me. A heading card, like the one that we have up here, some text, image, a stack, and to upload a file from my computer. But I also have a few other categories, including text, which just gives me heading and text cards, media for images, video, audio, and more, and finally group, which gives me different ways to make groups of information. I will quickly add a few things to my Sway to fill out the content. If you're interested in learning more about some of the things I did, there will be a second video on these content items amongst other things. The Sway looks good to me, but before I share it, I will want to preview it and make sure that things look alright. In the upper right is a button that says Play. This will give me a preview on what the Sway will look like. There's my background image, my logo, title, my text, a YouTube video, my stack, and if I keep on clicking, I can also expand that stack by clicking on this, and I've also embedded a quick quiz. I can click on this to edit, and I can also click on the little gear icon to change some of the settings, including the layout. So that was in the vertical mode, this is now in the horizontal mode, and I can, using my little scroll wheel here, and the final one is the slideshow, which you have to use the left and right directional arrows down here to move between each part. I'll do the horizontal view, and then I'll click on Share in the upper right. By default, it is set so that only those at Canisius College with the link can view my Sway. I can change this so that only specific people with the link can view my Sway and enter their emails in, or set this option so that anyone with the link can view the Sway. I can also toggle this other option, invite people to view the Sway or edit the Sway, so that people can either view or edit my Sway. For now, I think I will set my sharing to be only viewable by those in my organization with the link, and without the ability to edit. I'll just copy the link by clicking on this icon right here and embed it into my D2L. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, please email us at helpdesk@canisius.edu. Thanks for watching and have a great day.